you for being with us. Our top story tonight, Pope Francis arrived in Hungary today for his 41st Apostolic journey abroad. The Holy Father kicked off his three-day trip with a meeting with Hungarian President Katalin Novak and Prime Minister Viktor Orban. Pope Francis also addressed members of the diplomatic corps and civil society, stressing the importance of effective policies and the ability to build bridges between nations. Joining us now from Budapest is Domonkos Pulay, reporter at EWTN Hungary. Domonkos, great to see you. No doubt, this is a very exciting time for the people in Hungary. Curious, how did they welcome the Holy Father for this apostolic visit?
Good evening, Tracy. Well, Pope Francis's much-anticipated three-day-long apostolic visit to Hungary has begun as the papal plane with the head of the Catholic Church and the Vatican delegation on board landed before 10 a.m. this morning at the Budapest airport, where 100 Hungarian children lined up along with a group of church and government officials greeting the Holy Father. The official welcoming ceremony for the pontiff took place in the ancient Buda Castle district at St. György Square in front of the Sándor Palace. There, Pope Francis first met and exchanged gifts with Hungarian President Katalin Novak, followed by a private meeting with Prime Minister Viktor Orban at the former Carmelite monastery, where he also addressed the representatives of the state authorities, civil society and diplomatic corps. Late in the afternoon, the Holy Father delivered a speech to the Hungarian bishops, priests, religious and other members of the clergy inside the marvelous building of St. Stephen's Basilica.
And briefly, what did the Holy Father say when he spoke, and what were some of the highlights?
While meeting with Hungarian President Katalin Novak, who greeted the Holy Father by calling him a man of peace, Pope Francis wrote in the country's Book of Honor, quote, "I come as a pilgrim and friend to Hungary, a country rich in history and culture. In Budapest, a city of bridges and saints, I think of all Europe and pray that in unity and solidarity it might be in our times as well as a house of peace and a prophecy of welcome," end quote. When speaking to the representatives of the local authorities, social life and diplomatic missions, the pontiff emphasized the need to rediscover the European spirit and says the continent must recover its founding spirit of peaceful unity to confront Russia's war in Ukraine. He warns against present dangers and challenging the leaders of Europe for their lack of creative efforts for peace, which, according to the Holy Father, can never be accomplished by focusing on one's strategic interests, but only through policies aiming to look at the bigger picture and for the greater good of all mankind. He also spoke against forms of ideological colonization that would cancel differences, as in the case of the so-called gender theory, and condemned the idea of senseless right to abortion, which he said is always a tragic defeat. In the evening, the Pope addressed the clergy and pastoral workers gathered in St. Stephen's Basilica, encouraging them to look at Christ as the future and fight against bleak defeatism, worldly conformism, with prophetic receptivity.
Domonkos, before I let you go, can you tell us what else is on the Holy Father's agenda this weekend?
Well, tomorrow morning, Tracy, Pope Francis will first make a private visit to the Blessed László Batthyány Stratman Institute, where he will meet with visually impaired children, followed by an encounter with poor people, refugees and members of the Greek Catholic community, as well as a gathering with the young people of Hungary. Hence, they are the primary focus of this visit, and a private meeting with the evening with the Hungarian Jesuit order. On his last day, on Sunday, Pope Francis will celebrate Mass at Kossuth Lajos Square in the presence of hundreds and thousands of Hungarians. In the afternoon, before heading for the airport, Pope Francis will meet with the representatives of the academic and cultural world at the Catholic University Péter Pázmány, after which he will bless the Hungarian nation and take off for Rome.
Well, Domonkos, thank you so much for that report. We appreciate it. Domonkos Pulay, reporter at EWTN Hungary. Thank you again.